what we've really come to understand is it's the hand action that actually drives.
If you have good hands, you know what to do with your hands. So much works back into the body, and the golfer they're empowered when they know how to use their hands properly. Gentlemen?
Suffered by many people. Okay, the top shot, the dreaded top shot, and the dreaded fat shot. What sort of things would cause those, guys?
My favorite. So this is part of my acting routine when I'm giving a golf lesson, and I've got my students there, and I'll say to my students regularly, okay, I'll pick somebody in the crowd, Ben, Bob, Sally, whatever. I'll say, watch my head and tell me if my head comes up, because they all think, you know, that raising their head causes top shots. So I'll purposely top a ball. I hit that, topped it so well it only moved a sliver. So there's me topping a golf ball. It bounced up in the air and then rolled into the net, right? So they'll look at me quizzically and they'll say, well, you didn't raise your head. And I'll say, no, I didn't raise my head. Then I say, if I didn't raise my head, in fact, I'll lower my head of 6-8 inches, and yet I'll still top the golf ball, and it's more impressive off of grass where it doesn't get pushed into the ground and up into the air. So as I do that again, I'm afraid it's going to pop up and hit me in the face, actually, on a driving range, Matt. So there's a good one, right? Topped and it rolled a few feet. So I do that by the green, too, on a short little chip shot. It freaks people right out. But my point is, when I ask the question, then they quickly say, well, clearly your elbows have to separate. And I say, yeah, the quickest way to reduce this radius that we take care to create at address with a nice waggle and pressure into the ground is to separate our elbows. That is the exact opposite of learning how to go A to B with structure. If I go A to B with structure, some beautiful things happen. As I get the club in my hands and I'm waggling it and I'm feeling the ground with my feet and I go A to B, I couldn't be any longer with my radius to and through a golf ball. And so that actually makes me push up and rotate. The push up and rotate has added value to help you with speed. So rather than staying down and separating elbows, which is really the cause of top shots, or some excessively steep delivery that crowns the golf ball, which is another one, okay? If you learn the structure of going A to B nicely and you carry that structure into what we call the cornerstone position, which we teach every golfer that comes to my school, this little stingy pitch shot, that behavior right there, they learn that there's a radius that they can rely on to hit the golf ball, brush the grass, give them that sense of compression and direction control. Peter.
Fantastic. Yeah, look, you know, basically 100%, you need that extension through the bottom of the swing. And the worst thing you can do is think of keeping your head down. You want to get the club head down. If you're topping the ball, it's the club head that's coming up, not your head. So the deeper you throw the club head down into the ball and your direction of hit, if you took a line, just grab one of my yardsticks here just to graphically show it from the front on view. The direction of hit is very steep on that incline. Looking at it from this view, if I go to the top of the backswing, now that direction of hit is very much down and out. It's not just out. It's the down that compresses the ball. Now, the idea also is that a lot of people think to get the golf ball up in the air that they've got to lift it up with the club face. So they're trying to either hit level or on the upswing to get the ball up in the air. And that's the wrong concept. If you want to make sure you hit the ball first, the ground second, but don't top it, as you come down, you want that club not only traveling down, you want it to be leaning this way as you hit the golf ball. And that gets more of the club face compressing the ball. And there's still plenty of loft on the club, so it's going to go in the air. The added benefit is you're going to get backspin. And that backspin has the dimples on the underside hitting the air and being more pressure. The upper dimples are going with the air, and that's what keeps it in the air. So the idea of hitting down to make the ball go up will certainly eliminate a lot of people that top the ball because they're trying to lift it. The second thing that I feel happens with the erratic golfer that tops one, hits another one, the next one fat. And that, first of all, you've got to turn in a barrel. You can't be playing golf transferring your weight sideways. Golf is a rotational game, and the weight transfers because the club head goes there on the arms. It's not, you're not consciously doing it. You want to stay centered. As you throw, you throw away from your center. There's no attempt to transfer weight. So you can stay right in a very precise place so the bottom of the swing can be the same. Now, when you've got that bottom of the swing being the same every time, it's got you can then learn to hit the ground, find where the ground is. But as you want to throw this club head down, if you start the backswing club head first or arms first, you're going to be out of sequence, or shoulders first. You need, if you've got an out of sequence backswing, what happens is the arms get quickly, and then all of a sudden, 1 minute you get a little bit tight, and you get quick, and you either hit tops or you hit it fat. To be a consistent ball striker, you really need to swing the club head back. You don't want to muscle it and pull it up. You want to push it and sling it back. That will help you stay centered. You'll be able to become more consistent with the bottom of your swing. And that idea of hitting down now, you'll hit the ball first and the ground second more consistently rather than behind it or ahead of it. I think you'll find that. The other thing is, if you've been topping the ball, don't just go to the driver or the long iron when you're doing it. Start and rebuild your better idea with your short shots. So when I'm here like this, no better place than to start with a chip shot, where you learn to hit the ball first and the ground second. If you can't do it with a chip shot, don't expect to do it with a full swing. So lean a little forward, and the idea of hitting down will make the ball go up. You don't have to lift.
So I tell you what, Chris, we have we're kind of running out of time here. Do we have one more question before we wrap things up?
Sure we do. Just get to one guy's question. Driver question. I hit a drive 2 inches forwards and 2 inches down into the ground. What did I do with my swing to cause this stupid result?
Oh, so the gentleman topped it right into the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, to top a driver right into the ground, you know, obviously, this golf club isn't really traveling level to the ball when it hits it, clearly. You know, there's a couple of things that could happen that, as my mind surmises, a club face can be so open, the person's staying back so far to buy time to hit it up and to get the face square, they back out of it, they can crown the golf ball. And typically what I see is a club that's so steep that it comes down that it really only has a chance to either go and hit the ground, because I guarantee you that same person either hits the ground at some point with their driver, and the driver is really not intended to hit the earth. It's intended to knock a tee over and collect the ball. So, you know, the person's either got a way open face, or potentially a way shut face, but something too extreme that they're trying to either buy loft for or buy time for. And then the other thing is, they can just be so steep that they kind of pound down on it rather than go truly A to B, which gives them lots of time for the club to have a relatable delivery position. So I think that's something I hope that they gathered from the early part of this webinar, that if they follow that early part of the slice fix, they're probably going to do pretty well and not have that embarrassing shot happen to them.
Yeah, I agree. It's basically, if you start right, it's so much easier to make the whole rest of the swing natural, automatic. But you got to have the right idea. So iron play, to make the ball go up in the air and to hit the ball and not top it, you need to think of hitting down. The driver, because it's further forward in the stance and it's on a tee, the low point in the swing is going to be just behind the ball, but you want to be traveling parallel or slightly on the upswing. Now, if you're topping it, is what you just said, Martin, you're either on the wrong path or you're moving around too much with your body. You're not turning in a barrel. And I think those those, if you're having a problem with a driver and you're not having problems with everything else, I would either tee the ball higher, okay, and definitely make sure when you throw the club head at the ball, watch the ball and allow yourself to turn through the ball. Don't get blocked. Otherwise, that will impede your ability to hit the ball with a good compression.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thanks
Chris.
very much, Martin.
Oh, no, you bet. Where can people learn more about Peter's awesome programs? And before you talk about that, because I know we're going to wrap up soon, just to the audience out there, there's a ton of us that teach golf, and to the other coaches watching this, I know you care deeply about helping your students get better at golf. I've become a decent golf coach because of my experiences with other coaches, watching and learning from other coaches. And I'll tell you what, if you're a coach out there, learn from Peter. If you're a student out there, learn from Peter. I don't think there's a better program that really takes somebody step by step. And I know that there's a lot of people that want a recipe book. Well, I've never seen somebody bake a cake better than this guy, as far as the recipe book of kind of putting one step ahead of the other, from the care with which you put your hands on, how you start a club back, the little answers to help somebody really build an effective golf swing. Golf's a hard game, you guys. It's not just about swing. There's a lot about playing. There's a lot about emotion. There's a lot about just the routine and all these crazy things you got to learn in golf. But as far as a technical coach, from what you can gather from online stuff, Peter's stuff is brilliant. I really think that if you have time, I would dig in, I would learn, I would follow his program. You'll love it.
Thanks, Martin. And of course, vice versa, you just finished your schools season, but I know you're doing some schools around the country. And I think you're going down to Mexico, aren't you, next? Or
I love Mexico. I love Coronas and I love the ocean. So we're going to have some fun down there. But, I have, I'm a very hands-on coach. I do occasional online lessons available on my website. But most of the time, it's just hands-on in a golf school format, incessantly teasing the person in front of me, having fun with them, challenging them to get better. And that's what I like to do. I like to be in their face. I like to have fun with them, challenge them. COVID times have been tough, but trying to get my hands on getting them to feel the right feelings through shots. And once that light bulb goes on, man, that's really pleasing for me. It's what gets me up in the morning, besides my awesome family. So,
excellent. Well, thanks very much. And back to you, Chris.
I just posted a link in the chat for those that saw it. Anyway, it's a 50% discount off our Master Academy price. There's quite a bit to learn. There's a monthly fee, or you can pay an annual fee. So that's a little bit about what Peter does. If you want the best golf school, okay, I'll just go back there one sec. If you're looking at the best golf school, probably one of the best in America, I'd say go to tourstriker.com, golf schools there. If you just go to tourstriker.com, you'll see all of Martin's stuff. And he also has some fantastic teaching aids to help you with your own game or your teaching. Anyway, here are Peter's and Martin's contact details. So you can take a picture of that, or we are recording this webinar as well. So thanks very much, guys, and really well done today. I know I really enjoyed it as a golf coach, and I'm sure there's plenty of other coaches here as well. And really appreciate your time. And I think your team's up, aren't they, in their match, Marty?
They're up 2-1, mate. I've got 15 minutes to go watch the rest of it.
Okay. Fantastic. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Chris. And
bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks to the audience for being here. Really appreciate the interest.
What we've really come to understand is it's the hand action that actually drives.
If you have good hands, you know what to do with your hands. So much works back into the body, and the golfer they're empowered when they know how to use their hands properly. Gentlemen, great to be with you. Peter, it's a pleasure, pal. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Martin. And it will be great to be here. Just a little mention there. Martin has probably the #1 golf school in Arizona. There are a lot of golf schools there, but you've been rated #1. So that's
thank you.
Nice to be in your school today. Okay.
Well, that's where we're sending my studio here. This is where I subject all my students to some coaching from the range outside and then in here. But, I'm really excited to get down to the brass tacks of having great hands in golf.